It's amazing. Ain't nobody but you go crazy.
Do it now.
What's up, guys? VelvetHuzl here. So today we're going to start by sterilizing our bowls and all of our tools. We are going to make two of my popular glosses. One is called Cherry Bomb. The other is called Smoothie. They're in two different collections. There is a little bit of difference in ingredients, but we will get to that in just a second. First and foremost, you sterilize, wipe down everything. I use 91% alcohol as my sterilizer, just to make sure that everything is very, very clean and ready to go. This is my lipstick base that I actually made from scratch. I'll link down below where I got this recipe from. Miss Victoria Lowe taught me how to make this very creamy, very velvety, wonderful consistency lipstick base that works very well in my glosses and my liquid lipsticks. This base is also available on my website in wholesale. I have it up in two different ways. You can get it in naked, like this, with absolutely no color, or you can get it in canvas, which you're about to see me make. So I add 9 tablespoons to the bowl, and then you're about to see me now transform this naked base into canvas. And I do that by adding a couple of tablespoons of titanium dioxide, which is white pigment. You can usually find this liquid. No, I don't use the liquid version of it, because when you're trying to make like a matte color, you don't use the liquids, you use the powders. That gets you there a lot faster. It holds your matte and it takes away the shine. So we add a couple tablespoons of that, and I put it in my mixer, and we're about to mix for a little bit and let it go. All right, and I'm removing it from the mixer. You can see the difference now between naked and canvas. This is canvas. Both are available in Huzl Wholesale, so check the website. It's just the difference between translucent and opaque lip color. So you make sure you scrape the sides of the bowl very well down into the bowl, and then I put it back in the mixer because I like to make sure everything is mixed. Now, somewhere all around in here, I don't know what happened. I lost some footage. After mixing this again and getting it completely creamy, making sure all of the titanium dioxide was dissolved, I added my pink pigments, but I don't have that footage. It's kind of a good thing though. But this is afterwards. I actually switched bowls because I use a different mixer. I have a stick mixer that I use to make sure that my powder color additives do not leave clumps, dry clumps in my mixture. That can be a surprise when you're trying to put it on and you'll just find a powder ball in there somewhere. So this is how I make sure I get my very whipped, very creamy consistency. This is also where I separate my base for the two glosses. And as you can see, now I've put it back in the bowl that can go in the mixer, and I'm adding my other color additives. I'm not going to give the measurements of that. It's up to you to figure out what shade you would like to make. So I'm adding more of, I've added my pink, and now I'm adding this yellow because I wanted to kind of sunny up the pink. I've already separated out the half of my base for my BareHuzl collection, and that I believe is the color Smoothie. This is going to be the color Cherry Bomb, which will be in the VelvetHuzl collection. So it has just a little bit of a sunnier complexion to it. They're kind of the same. The consistency is just a little bit different. One is more of a drier matte and one is a very creamy. And look at that. You can't tell me that doesn't look good. That consistency is just amazing. It's like a whipped dream. But you make sure that you press with your spatula against the walls of the bowl. This will ensure that the lip gloss blends with any clumps of powder. You just want to make sure you mix it very, very, very well. And I do this, and I will put it back in the mixer, but I just try to make sure I get all the powder mixed in first. Alright, so I wasn't quite at the color that I wanted, or the shade. So I added another tablespoon of the yellow. And I'm just going to smooth that in, fold that in, because I don't want the powder to go flying everywhere. I'm going to put it back in the mixer, and then I'm going to put it back in the mixer for a little while and just get it to the creamy, thick consistency that I really want this one to be at. I use this 2 spatula technique where I clean off my spatulas. It helps me kind of scrape as much product as possible off of the other spatula, and you'll see in a minute why I'll need this, because the consistency is about to change drastically, because now we're about to lock in our matte texture to this lip color. And so just get all of the product that you can, waste not, want not. Get all of the product that you can into the bowl. I just pop this back in the mixer for a little bit, just to make sure that everything is completely blended one last time. I guess call me a bit of a perfectionist, because I'd rather over whip and mix something than to under whip and mix something. I've learned my lesson with marbling and finding spots of titanium dioxide or some of the other colors in my tubes, and look at that consistency. It looks beautiful. Scrape the walls, and now we're gonna lock in the matte consistency. So this is my secret weapon to any matte lip color. You make sure that you put the same amount that you use with the pigment. So that is white, kale, and clay. And I added 4 tablespoons because so far that equals up between the 2 or 3 pigments that I use about how much powdered pigment I've used. As you can see, this immediately turns our very beautiful creamy whipped consistency into a dough ball. And when I first learned this by watching the recipe technique of Ms. Victoria Lowe, oh my God, this is so frustrating. The only way to get around it is to just keep going. You take the back of the spatula and you press the lip gloss into all of the white, kale, and clay until you no longer see the clay. And it'll give you this really thick, really thick, as you can see why now I need the 2 spatulas to get it off and get it back into the bowl. But you see how thick that consistency got now. This is more of a lipstick texture. This is the key to the long lasting color on your lips, so that you're not constantly reapplying through the day. And I just make sure I scrape the walls as best I can, get as much product into the middle of the bowl, because now what we're going to do is walk it back into the creamy consistency we need it to be in the tube. And to get that creamy consistency, we are now going to add isododecane to this mixture. And this is also an equal amount to the powder additives that I used earlier. So 4 tablespoons of the isododecane to this mix. And then we pop it back into the mixer to get that mixer. Honestly, it works just a lot better this way. I could have done it by hand, but I've noticed that this is not just a time saver. The power of my mixer just kind of really helps me get things blended. I can do a lot of pre-blending with it. I suggest you use that to, save yourself the carpal tunnel vibes and feels. And as you can see, now we're back to a looser, creamier, more liquidy consistency. And that's what we're looking for. Now, when you add liquid to your mixture, that will change the color. It'll change the shade that you made. So you now have to kind of compensate for that. And you have to put back in with your flavoring oils. And as you can see, I use monk drops. This is what gives me the sweetness. I don't know about you, maybe it's just me. I like the sweetness on my lips with my lip gloss. But I add that liquid into my mixture for the flavor and for the scent, this cherry scent. And then I'm going to follow that up with my powdered pigments just to compensate for the amount of liquid that I put into the mixture. This will give me back that pop of color and put it back to the shade, the sunny pink that I was going for in the first place. And then we just mix that up one last time. Finally, make sure we blend all of these additives together into a beautiful creamy consistency that we can then start tubing. Now I like to kind of turn my mixer up and then back down and then back up again, because it kind of helps. I don't know how to explain it really. It kind of helps mix my powders into my liquids a little bit better in my bowl. Probably because of the indentation at the bottom. Not all of the mixes have that, but I have it at the bottom. It's like a dimple in the bottom, and it's back to the consistency we're looking for. And so now we're just going to swatch that to make sure before we get it into the tubes that it is the exact color that we're looking for. It'll also show you how creamy the consistency is. You see how I'm rubbing it back and forth, and it doesn't become translucent or see-through like a lip gloss. It's a lip color. Honestly, this light is kind of bleaching it out a little bit. It's not doing it justice. This color is very vibrant and vivid. And I kind of wanted to compare it to a similar color that I had in my collection, which is my strawberry color, which is also in the same collection of the VelvetHuzl. I just wanted to make sure that they were far enough apart from each other. So you see the strawberry kind of comes off with a little bit of a violet undertone, and the cherry bomb has a sunny pinkish tone to it. So now we're just gonna move on to getting that into the syringes. I promise this was when I was starting out, y'all. I have a much better technique of getting these types of products into my syringe, or into my tubes rather. That's another video for another time. That will be coming very soon. Be on the lookout for that. And if you check out my wholesale, then you kind of already know what this secret is. I'll also link the video of the other boss babe on YouTube who taught me this amazing technique that completely replaces this technique here. I don't even buy syringes anymore. You see how much of a mess I was making, but I cleaned it up. And look at me, y'all. This is me trying to be slick. I already had the pipette cut, attached, and down into the tube. It clearly did not work, as you're about to see from this cutaway. So once I fixed it, I started to fill up my tubes, and yeah, this is Cherry Bomb from the VelvetHuzl collection. Look at that creamy pink, beautiful consistency. It looks like a kind of like strawberry ice cream, or like a strawberry milkshake with the yellow undertone. It honestly looks good on a large arrangement of skin tones. It is not just for the fair-skinned, melanated, brown skinned women can wear this color, and it's not too overbearing on the skin. The yellow undertone makes it blend very nice with the brown tones, caramel tones on our skin, especially mine. You'll see a picture at the end of me wearing this product with one of our Huzl Beauty lip liners. And yes, I'm just filling up these tubes, and doesn't it just look so perfect? Okay, now comment below if you know, if you have a small business and you know the struggle with these tubes. These tubes, whew, they were fun. So I found a way, I eventually found a trick to get the wands into these tubes without such a hassle. If you know anything about it, like the air kind of forces you. So there's a certain way you can lean it. And I'm doing it here. You stick it straight in, you kind of press, and you'll hear like a sound, and you'll feel the tube relax and let the wand inside the tube. And I'm going to demonstrate it here one more time. So after you put your stopper into your tube, you take your wand, you stick it as straight as you can in there, and you take like your middle finger and you use that to press the stick down a little bit to hear that release of air, and you'll feel it kind of almost suck the wand inside the tube. I made such a mess before I found this little trick out. I don't know who needs to hear it. I hope it helps somebody. It really helped me. But yeah, these were the finished products of my Cherry Bomb VelvetHuzl lip colors. And I make sure I alcohol wipe down all of my tubes and clean them. And I'm going to put in a picture here. These are actually OG tubes now. Stay tuned. New tubes on the way. I hand designed these tubes when I first started, and I loved doing it, but we're growing now and we need more. And my little hands and eyeballs can't work that hard. But look at that color. Like, that color is gorgeous. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you guys later. See you in the next video. Bye.